my name is Mike Montgomery, and today I'm going to show you how to remodel a bathroom on Modern Builds. I want to give a huge thanks to this video's sponsor, Home Depot. This whole renovation would not be possible without them. And throughout the video, you'll see me using some amazing products from Home Depot, like the customizable Delta Upstyle Tub and Shower Surround, and bath and shower fixtures from Delta's Pivotal Bath Collection. If you're interested in finding more about them, you can follow the link down in the description. There, I've also written a blog post with more about this renovation in general. Remodel projects are totally intimidating, I get it, but bathrooms are not that tough, mainly because the layout is totally what it needs to be. The sink is going to be where it is, and the shower is going to stay where it is. Things just need updated. So stay tuned, and let's get building. Or, let's get demoing, because the first thing we gotta do is tear this place apart. Demoing out this bathroom was relatively quick. I started by taking out the vanity. Smooth. This thing was not too sturdy, and it came out really quick. From there, I could take out the cabinet above the toilet, the mirror, and then the toilet itself. This was definitely not the funnest part. Taking a shower like this out is going to be different for everybody, so make sure and do your own research. Most fiberglass shower inserts are installed the same way, which means they can be demoed out the same as well. After removing all the knobs and fixtures, I used a utility knife to remove the drywall about 2 to 4 inches above the shower itself. This exposes a flange that is typically used to screw or nail the shower insert to the studs behind it. Now that the drain was out and there was nothing holding the insert down, it was time to remove the whole thing. And to do that, I used a 6-inch reciprocating saw blade to cut the insert into pieces. This is going to allow me to remove this insert in pieces, otherwise I wouldn't be able to get it through the door of the bathroom. Whenever you're cutting through a shower insert like this, make sure that you're not cutting through any electrical wires or plumbing behind your wall. At this point in the project, everything was removed from the bathroom, except for the floors, that is. So I rented this demolition hammer from Home Depot along with a chisel bit so that I could remove the porcelain tiles. Whoever installed the tiles in this house originally did a really good job because it was not easy to get these up. And once the tiles were removed, I used the bit itself to scrape away any mortar that was still stuck to the concrete. Popcorn ceilings are really ugly, but luckily, they're really easy to remove. The first thing you want to do is spray the ceiling to help control the dust. This also helps the texture remove a little bit easier. I recommend using a scraper like mine, which a trash bag can attach to. This helps the cleanup process go by way quicker. I couldn't be happier to report that all major demo is complete. It's time to put this place back together. And the first thing I'm gonna do is level out these floors. If you'll notice, under where the tub goes, the floor is not quite level. See how the foundation is raised in the center? So I'm gonna float an entire new floor across this bathroom. This is gonna make the tiling and tub installation way easier. Before I floated a new floor, I caulked around the perimeter of the room to help seal everything up. Once that had time to set, I mixed up some self-leveling underlayment. You want to make sure and mix this so that it's really runny, that way it can flow into anywhere there's low spots in the floor. Thanks to gravity, the mix naturally flows to the low spot in the floor, but it doesn't hurt spreading it out a little bit. After I floated the floor, I let it set for about 2 days to cure, then I came back and I roughed in all of my plumbing for the tub drain. Installing a tub really is simple, but you want to make sure that it's perfectly level before you screw it into the studs behind it. Oftentimes, rough framing is just that, rough and inconsistent, so make sure and have a pack of shims with you so that you can have good contact everywhere you're screwing your tub to the studs behind it. After the tub and drain were installed, I called a plumber to do the rough-in for the shower. Plumbing is not something that I have a ton of experience in, and this is something that I wanted to make sure was done correctly. After the valve was installed, he ran PEX tubing from the valve to the hot and cold lines, as well as to a shower head up top. And while we were at it, we went ahead and raised the shower head about 1.5 feet from where it was previously. After I test fit the shower walls, I measured and marked the location of the valve and the downspout for the tub so that I could drill holes in that wall insert for the plumbing to go through. And anywhere I was drilling, I made sure to use painter's tape to keep the shower wall from getting scratched. Once the holes were drilled, I could put that third wall in place and check the fit. Thankfully, it worked out great on the first try. After that, I grabbed my portable miter saw station so that I could cut some 1x4s as the support pieces behind the shower wall itself. I have a build video showing how to make this portable miter saw station. If you're interested in checking it out, there will be a link in the description as well as a card in the corner of the screen. These 1x4s that I'm installing are the support behind the shower walls. Once again, I made sure to keep some shims with me so that I could make good level walls for reference. The shower inserts are held to the 1x4s with a polymer adhesive, and there's multiple recommended in the installation guide supplied by the manufacturer. Just like with the tub, you want to make sure that each of these shower walls are really plumb and level before you screw the flange down to the 2x4 studs. This way your edges are consistent all the way across your shower, from the tub to the shower walls. This blue drywall is water resistant, which means it's perfect for this application. I used a utility knife to cut panels to replace the drywall I removed earlier. This is my first time doing drywall as well, and I've got to say, it is not as tough as you would think, so don't be intimidated by this process. You've totally got it. The only challenging part was trimming around the shower. If I had known that this would have been an issue sooner, I would have made sure to make straighter cuts on the original drywall so that this process would be easier. Regardless, once your drywall is in place, you want to tape and mud your seams. You use drywall compound to fill any voids and to smooth out the transition between the original drywall and the new pieces that we put in. This helps hide any seams and makes a really nice flat wall. It also makes the corners a lot cleaner. I learned on this project that it's better to do multiple thin coats of compound rather than 1 or 2 really thick coats. That way you save a lot of time sanding and you make a lot less of a mess. You typically want to let this set for about 24 hours or at least overnight. Then you can come back and sand your seams and apply a second, third, or fourth coat as necessary. Right now I'm here at my local Home Depot to rent a tile saw. I picked up some really awesome black mosaic tiles with a hexagonal pattern. Only problem is I need a tile saw with a sliding table to be able to cut them cleanly. That's what's really awesome about Home Depot and their rental service. I'm able to get a really high quality saw at a really low fee. In fact, I'm only going to rent it for 4 hours, and that should give me plenty of time to tile the shower and get it back here in time. That's what's so awesome about this Delta Up style tub and shower surround is that you can customize it with literally any tile that you want. I started by taking my 12 by 12 tile squares and cutting them so that they fit the insert of the shower. Instead of a thin set mortar, I used the same polymer adhesive that I used to attach the shower walls to the 1x4s behind it. After applying the adhesive, I used a trowel to spread it out. That way, each of the tile had plenty of contact with the shower wall and the adhesive. I put them in place, making sure not to press on them too hard so that they didn't sink too deeply into the adhesive. Then I used tile spacers to make sure that all of my spacing and gaps were consistent across the stretch. Once I had a couple of these in place and got the hang of it, I was able to tile the rest of the shower really quickly. I have links to the Delta Up style shower kit that I used if you're interested in learning more. I really couldn't recommend it more. I was really impressed with the quality of the shower itself, and the ability to customize it the way that you can is really amazing. This was my first time applying grout to tile, so I'm sure I was messier than I needed to be, but it came out looking really nice. I used my grout float to work that grout into the cracks between all of the tiles. You don't want any voids here. After that, I used a sponge and water to clean up the majority of that grout, then a paper towel to wipe it all clean. And lastly, to waterproof this shower and tub, I caulked all of the seams with the same polymer adhesive I used on the rest of the shower. Look at that. So cool. I had to remove the light fixtures to paint, so the first thing I did once it was dry was replace it so that I could film with some light again. I replaced the vanity light along with the bath fan so that everything matched and was clean and white. I'm going to be installing 12-inch by 24-inch porcelain marble floors. And just like before, this is the first time I'm tiling a floor as well, so I made sure and followed the manufacturer's directions on each of the products whenever I used them. I applied my mortar with a 1/2-inch by 1/2-inch trowel, and I also did what's called back buttering the tiles before I installed them. This just means that I installed a thin layer of thin set to the back of the tile before I put it down on top of the mortar. I took some extra time to make sure this first tile was really level because that's what all of the rest of the tiles will reference from here on out. I just worked my way down the wall, cutting pieces as I needed to, using spacers to maintain a consistent grout line. I also decided to stagger my grout lines so that it had a nice, clean look.
Tiling that floor got a little bit messy there towards the end, but it came out really, really nice. I made sure and got nice spacers so that I could help keep a really consistent grout line across all of my tiles.
Before I could grout the tiles, I needed to remove the excess mortar between the tiles. I used these mortar removing attachments for my 18-volt Ryobi multi-tool to clean up the gaps between the tiles. Like I said, I was a little messier than I should have been here. As I worked, I kept a shop vac with me so that I could remove that dust and see if there was any extra mortar I needed to remove. Then, I got my grout and my grout float back out, and I grouted between the tiles. This time I was not as messy as I was in the shower, and I was able to clean everything up really easily.
And now that the grout has had a couple of days to dry, this bathroom is going to start moving along really quickly.
The bathroom had some old, dingy outlets and switches, so I decided to remove all of those and replace them with some modern, square ones. And just like I'm not a plumber, I am not an electrician, so don't look for me for advice in that department.
This 1x4 trim that I'm using for the bathroom is perfectly suited for it. It's PVC, which means it's waterproof.
In some of my previous renovation videos, you've seen me make 1x4 trim out of MDF. Installing this is the exact same method. You want to make sure that you have a really tight seam between your trim and your wall for a clean, flush look. I had to customize this piece of the door trim to work around the baseboard, but aside from that, it's the same as trimming out any other door. Toilets are super easy to install. Once you get a new wax ring on there, all you have to do is set your toilet in place, make sure that it's dead level, then assemble according to your manufacturer's directions. This bathroom vanity from Kohler is really awesome because it's modular. The main cabinet of the vanity assembles and installs just like you would expect. Once you get it in place, make sure it's centered to the wall where you want it, as well as level to the floor. Then, grab a screw gun and a shim pack and attach it to the 2x4 studs behind the wall. From there, you have the option to add additional cabinets on either side of the vanity for extra storage. This way you can customize the vanity to fit your space and maximize storage. Now I know I said I'm not much of a plumber, but I'm definitely confident enough to install a faucet. This model is from the Delta Pivotal series, same as the shower kit that you'll see later on. Both of those will be linked in the description. I really love the way they look. The shower arm that comes with the Pivotal shower kit is really long, which allows it to act as a rainfall shower head, even though it's a traditional shower rough-in. And once I had that installed, the bathroom was done. Now before I show you what this bathroom ended up looking like, I want to remind you just how dingy and out of date everything was. The lighting was bad, the fixtures were out of date, and everything was just sort of, well, falling apart. But now we have a fresh, clean, modern bathroom that's going to be stylish for years to come. Not only is it 10 times more functional, but it just looks and feels way better when you're in there. I know some people criticize using a lot of white finishes. They say it's too sterile, but if you ask me, there's nowhere else I would want to feel sterile than a bathroom. Am I right? So thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in finding out more about the Home Depot products I used and more about renovating a bathroom in general, make sure and follow the link down in the description. I want to give one more huge thanks to Home Depot for sponsoring this video. This absolutely would not have been possible without them. I won't lie, Home Depot is my dream sponsor. I couldn't be more proud or appreciative to have them on board. If you got any questions about this project, you can always leave me a comment down in the description, or you can hit me up with a DM on Instagram. I am at Modern Builds. Finally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below me and that notification bell. That way you know every time I post a new project video. This has been an incredible learning experience for me, and don't forget, there's Modern Builds merch. Link for that is down in the description as well. Bye everybody.